10 years ago today, I uploaded my first video, Why You Should Watch Hunter x Hunter. I just looked at that video, and it has 10 years ago as the little date on it now. And that is really fucking insane to see. It's insane to think about how my life changed after that video. It's insane to think about that 10 years on, I am still making videos, and by some minor miracle, people are still watching them and people still give a shit. And I guess, like, first and foremost, before I talk about anything else in this video, I just want to say thank you. Genuinely, profoundly thank you to my audience. And, like, you know, if you watch my videos and you love them, I really appreciate that. If you watch my videos and they kind of annoy the fuck out of you and you think I talk too slowly or that I'm like too dramatic, I kind of get it. I kind of agree. And I still want to say thank you because you're still watching, you know, on some level, you still give a shit. And I appreciate that. I started thinking about doing this for 10 years a lot in the last couple of months. And I wrote out a big list of everything I feel like I've learned. And I thought it would make an interesting video to kind of go through that list and talk about some of these points. Some of this is going to be specifically about being a YouTuber. A lot of it is just going to be about the idea of success and succeeding at a goal and what that actually means for you. And some of this is probably going to sound really weird, but I think I just need to make this video as an acknowledgement of where my life has kind of gone. And yeah, this is going to be weird. This is going to be weird. Okay, the first one is fame does not fix anything. Whatever was broken will continue to be broken. Fame will numb it for a time, then it will be worse. So like I've talked about this in various places, but like I think my entire life I have struggled with feelings of like inadequacy. And I don't think that's unique to me. I think a lot of people feel that way, but it's definitely been a struggle for me. And I think when I started blowing up on YouTube first, what became this like, oh, just this fucking heroin was like this idea that there were thousands of people out there who I didn't know who were watching me and like enjoying my content. And that, like, whatever that hole was inside me, that absolutely filled it up. And it felt amazing. You know, it felt so good. But over time, it's like I started to get numb to it. You know, it's like I started to, like, okay, so genuinely, when someone says like, or takes the time to like, you know, send me a nice email or a letter or just whatever, that is always going to be important to me. But at the same time, there is only so many times that you can hear like, you are my favorite YouTuber, or your videos got me through a tough period, or all this kind of stuff without it kind of diminishing in how it hits you. And again, like, I hope that doesn't sound disrespectful to the people who do send me those messages, but yeah, in honesty, like, it kind of, you go numb to anything when exposed to it for long enough. And when that started to happen to me, I started to want that high again. And so I would spend more time reading YouTube comments, more time looking at Twitter, or just any kind of social media, you know? And it really got to the point where I think I developed like a minor addiction to that stuff. I mean, like, I can remember I would be at like parties full of people, and I would be outside on the balcony on my phone looking at YouTube comments. And it really warped my perception of like interaction, you know, and how I kind of valued people. And it took some very difficult conversations with, you know, people I cared about to kind of realize what was happening. And since then, I feel like the kind of like the holes in me, or like the inadequacies that I felt, I have taken care of them, but I've done so by like going to therapy. I've done so by like taking up martial arts and like finding activities and people that make me feel good, you know, that make me feel kind of worthwhile. And no amount of followers, no amount of success is ever going to do that for you. Like, if you think that the next big promotion or the next big social media goal or career objective or project completion is going to give you long-term fulfillment, I promise it won't. I think the only thing that really gives you fulfillment is finding things in your day that you love and spending time with people who you care about but are also good for you. I told you this is going to be weird. This is going to be weird and introspective, but I'm only on like item 1 of this list. So yeah, that's what's in store for the rest of this video. I guess I want to talk about like just the idea of success in general. And I want to be really honest with my experiences of success, because like I hate even saying I'm successful. Like, the Irish notions in me that fire off when I refer to myself as that. But I guess like objectively looking at it, I have succeeded on YouTube in a way that few people will get to experience. And financially on YouTube, like, I make exponentially more money than I ever did in any job before this. And like, I didn't start being a YouTuber in my early 20s, you know, I was nearly 30 when I started my channel. I had spent, you know, 6-7 years like working in animation and for graphic design companies and in e-learning and all this kind of stuff. I have absolutely woken up some mornings having no idea how I was going to pay my rent. You know, I've found myself in really difficult financial situations and, you know, had to just monitor every cent I spent because I didn't want to lose where I was living, you know. And that hasn't happened for a very, very, very long time, and it is because of this job. And so I wanted to talk about like the financial side of it a little bit, because I think there's two big preconceptions about what financial success does. One, there's this phrase that like money doesn't make you happy. And I think the problem with that phrase is it's nearly exclusively rich people who say it. And the reason I think that's a problem is because I do actually agree. I don't think money really leads to any kind of meaningful long-term fulfillment. But I think what a lot of people get wrong when they say that is what money does is it takes away stressors. It takes away pressure. It removes problems from your life. And when those problems are removed, that gives people the chance to pursue things that actually makes them happy. And so, no, I will say that like a lot of money isn't necessarily going to directly make you happy. It is going to let you deal with things that would make you unhappy. And like, it's a distinction, but I think it's an important distinction, because I think when you're thinking about people less fortunate than yourself, like that's how you have to look at it. It's like, oh, there's people out there who do have to think about, you know, do they want to buy a cup of coffee today? There's people who are, you know, constantly having to budget their money. And I remember what that was like, and it fucking sucked. And I guess that's my big takeaway on money. Like, yeah, no, direct fulfillment, it's not going to happen. But having money dramatically gives people the opportunity to be happy, even if it isn't direct. I hope that makes sense. It's a weird one, but like even stuff like, you know, being able to afford like a nice home, or like this fucking studio. Like, I never ever would have been able to afford this studio in any job I ever had before this. And now that I have this studio, I can make videos like this. I can do all kinds of shit that like makes it easier to make more money. And, you know, I think it's absolutely disrespectful to people who do not have money, to people who cannot support themselves, to think anything else. But yeah, I guess just wanted to get that out there. Next one. 1 million views is worth significantly less than a meaningful in-person interaction. So look, I've had videos that absolutely blew up, like crazy numbers. I've had videos that have hit 1 million views inside a week and all this kind of stuff. I've done that multiple times. I have videos with tens of millions of views, and years later, when I think back on the videos that like make me feel good, it's not those videos. It's videos like Space Jam 2 is a lie. It's videos like the Dell videos. It's videos that like I felt like I kind of really tried something weird and strange and got away with it, you know, and was able to do it and people got a kick out of it. And I think if I'm really honest about my own content, I feel right now, and a lot of this was just because the last 2 years were kind of insane for a couple of reasons. Mainly like a big house move that I feel like sucked my life for a year and a half. But I feel like my content has gotten too safe and has gotten too just video SAE. And I want to break that. I want to make some weirder shit next year. And I don't know how I'm going to pull it off, but I know exactly what I want to do. And I'm really, really excited to try, you know? But the second part of that. So this is something I find myself thinking, like whenever I come back from like a big con or magfest, like when you get to meet someone and you connect with them in real life, my God, that is such a better feeling than a million views. You know, a million views it's kind of a pain in the hole. Like when a video of mine blows up like a lot now, I'm kind of just like, oh, fucking here we go. Because I know it's just going to be a lot of feedback, a lot of opinions, a lot of just whatever. But like going to like, you know, going to like a foreign country, like going to America and getting to interact with someone I never would otherwise know and then actually connecting with them, that's valuable. And you know, in some cases, it's meeting people like Foxcade or Wooly or just, you know, all the other friends I've made doing this. I am tempted to start listing a bunch of names, but I'm not gonna. And like, you know, developing these real deep, proper relationships with people that, you know, you have these connections with. And I love that. You know, I really, really love that. And then sometimes it's like a 5-minute chat or like just getting to spend time with someone you never ever otherwise would have, and like, you know, talking about your cultures and talking about like the things that are different and like the things that are kind of the same, you know. Like I remember at the last magfest I got talking to this Chinese couple and we got into this big conversation just about the similarities between like Irish and Chinese upbringings and how the same pressure is applied to you in completely different ways. And then, like, you know, sometimes it's just you meet someone, you're like, this person's fucking awesome. I remember at another magfest, I met this lad and he came to one of my meetups and I just got talking to him and it was towards the end of the meetup and he was really nice. And at the end of it, I was like, do you want to grab like, I was just hungry and like there was a pizza place. And I was like, do you want to just go grab a pizza? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I didn't think this guy even knew who I was. He was just like a con buddy. And then like we just grabbed it. Marcus, if you ever see this, I still think of you, buddy. And it was just like the chillest, nicest dude. And I remember at one point, like I mentioned I was a YouTuber. It wasn't my meetup. I think it was maybe Wooly's meetup or something. And he was like, oh yeah, I know who you are. And I really appreciate that he just, you know, he didn't bring that up before. He didn't feel a need to be like, oh, you're super eye patch wolf. He just kind of let me feel like a human for a little bit. And that was really, really sweet. Those are the memories that I value from the last 10 years, you know, and the million views brings money, and money removes problems, and removing problems gives me the space to be happy with other stuff. So I guess I just wanted to balance that out with like, yeah, I don't for a second want to acknowledge that like the financial privileges I've gotten from this job aren't important, because they absolutely are. But it is those interactions and those connections I get to people that are ultimately my favorite thing about this job, are ultimately what has made it meaningful. Or even, you know, just like the opportunities to travel and see different parts of the world, and, you know, to the opportunities to just like travel with my Irish homies, like, you know, Brian or Rebecca or other Rebecca or Sean or just whoever, you know. But yeah. Okay, this one kind of relates to what I said before, but I think it's valuable as well. No amount of success will ever let you accept a part of yourself you couldn't accept without it. That is true. You know, if you have some gnawing anxiety, some little hole in you, success is never going to fill it. The only thing that does is like exploring why you feel that way and how, the stories that you tell yourself about who you are and why you are the way you are. And no amount of success will ever fix that. You cannot succeed your way into fixing what's broken. Okay, next one. God, this one. The more successful you become, the more you'll be forced to choose between success and peace. This is so true. You want to know my biggest regret this year? I worked way, way too much. And I really damaged myself here and there over it. And I really did not take enough time to spend time with the people I care about. I didn't give enough time to let myself be idle and just let life come to me, And a part of it is like some amazing opportunities came my way this year. A part of it is like the book. A part of it is a secret project that I will be announcing next year that I have been working on for like a year now. And those opportunities are amazing and have been some of the most fulfilling shit I've ever done. I wish I had slowed down. I wish I had slowed down and just like let myself enjoy life a little more, because I didn't. And I'm terrified I'm going to do that again next year. I just want to spend more time with the people that I care about. I want a dog. I want to get a dog, and I want to just hang out with that dog and not worry about whether I'm spending enough time working, And that's been hard. That has been a real struggle. Like I am addicted to working. I am addicted to working in the most joking way possible. And I think the success I have achieved has only added to that. Okay, this one I think I have a much better handle on. When you start to calculate your value based on any number, you are about to fail. So what I mean by this is like, okay, the best example I can possibly give to this is my story about hitting 1 million subscribers. If you want to go hear that full story, go watch my influencer courses or garbage video. But I struggled for like a year to hit 1 million subscribers. I was like, this is the year I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit 1 million subscribers this year. And like on December 26th, I did, right before the buzzer. And my big takeaway from it is I remember I got a message from my friend Brian and it just said 1 million lol, and I checked it and like, yeah, I'd hit 1 million. And I was sitting in my parents' spare room because I was home for Christmas, and I remember just like looking around the room and thinking like, oh man, like the walls are exactly the same as they were. And it was this just profound, like, holy shit, nothing's different. And I don't feel good. This doesn't, I can force it and I can pretend that this means something, but what does it actually mean, And it was this horrific realization that like chasing any number, like whether it's financial or just followers or I don't know, fucking anything, like that doesn't lead to any kind of fulfillment. All that is a byproduct of everything else you do. And so do you know what felt like way better than that? Like way, way better than that. The first time I landed a really nice Kimura in jiu-jitsu. Kimura is this arm lock where you basically take someone's arm and put it behind their back. And I always remember one of my old trainers, shout out to George Santos, owner of George Santos BJJ in Dublin. I don't train there anymore, but I trained there for 5 years. And speaking of things that give me fulfillment, fighting Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I don't want to say it saved my life because I don't think it quite did that. It did help pull me out of one of like the darkest holes I've ever been in. But George Santos, basically, he took a look at my Kimura and he was like, okay, this is how you grab the wrist. This is how you wrench the arm. He made like 2 little adjustments. And the next time I was sparring, I grabbed a brown belt in a Kimura and tapped him out. I'd never tapped out a brown belt before. That's 1 down from black. And like, that dude is way better than me. He was way better than me. But I got him in this one moment, you know? And oh my God, the fucking feeling of growth and fulfillment from learning to do this thing and apply it and knowing that I now had this new tool to play with, that felt amazing, right? And I think if you said to anyone, oh, I got kind of okay at doing an arm lock versus getting 1 million subscribers on YouTube, people would think that the 1 million subscribers is the much bigger achievement, but it didn't matter to me because fighting is what matters to me, not like being popular on the internet. I should qualify that, right? Like, okay, when people talk about, oh, X YouTuber only did this for the views, they're probably right to a certain degree because that YouTuber did upload that video to the internet. So inherently, views are a big part of that, and views matter to me. Like, they definitely matter to me, but they matter for me in that they're what let me do everything else I do. And they're what allow me to keep making whatever video I want. I'm like anyone else. Like, if I put out a video and it doesn't do well, then yeah, you know, that sucks. But I learned a long time ago, any kind of long-term validation I was going to get was never going to come from putting out videos that just hit like millions and millions of views constantly. So yeah. Okay, next one. When you start to calculate how you can change another person's opinion of you, you're about to fail. So obviously, like any YouTuber coming up, there's this point with YouTube, okay? And I call it like the 80K threshold. And it's when you hit about 80,000 subscribers on YouTube that people stop viewing you as the underdog and start viewing you as like a big YouTuber. And at that point, you're going to get like your haters. And that's because people hold people with large followings to an extremely high standard. And that is fair. And you're going to get absolutely valid criticism. And then you're also going to get criticism of people who, like, it can feel like they're misinterpreting your work consciously. But I think in reality, it's just that they are just completely different to you or just have a set idea of you. And one of the mistakes I made early on was thinking that I could do anything about that when I couldn't. You know, people are going to have whatever opinion they have. And the place I'm at now is like, man, other people's opinions of me is just not my business. Like, there's times when it matters, and then most of the time it doesn't. You know, it's like people can dislike my videos. People can dislike this persona of me I put out there. It doesn't mean that I need to do anything about it. Like, I think it's really, really important to be aware of when people are talking to you and when people are talking about you. I think that's a Vinny Caravella line from Giant Bomb from Nextlander. And that has stuck with me. Okay, next one. There's a massive difference between liking a pursuit and liking the idea of being successful at a pursuit. So what this one comes from is like, sometimes I'll get people and they'll message me and they'll be like, hey, Super Eye Patch Wolf, I really want to be a YouTuber, but I don't have any ideas for making a video. Do you have any advice? And I'm kind of like, I don't think you want to be a YouTuber. I think maybe you like the idea of being a YouTuber. You like this like Polaroid snapshot you get of other YouTubers through their social media. If you're not like fucking jonesing to make videos, then maybe there's something in life you would be more passionate about. Because no matter how cool any like job seems or how cool any like result from it is, if you don't love the physical actions that let you do that job, you will not love that job. I realized after a long, long time, like I thought I wanted to be an illustrator when I was younger. The only thing was like the anxiety of drawing was so strong for me because I had put like everything on becoming better and better at drawing. And like I just wasn't that good at drawing. And so I would fucking beat myself up so bad and I would make drawing miserable for myself. But in actuality, I loved drawing, but not in the way of being a professional illustrator. Nothing about being a professional illustrator was ever going to appeal to me because it meant drawing under time constraints, it meant drawing what other people wanted me to draw, and it meant drawing in these very specific ways. And I was not cut out for any of that. So I didn't really want to be an illustrator. I just liked the idea of being one. And then, I made my first YouTube video, Hunter x Hunter. I had no intention of making a second video. I just wanted to make one video, put it up on the internet because it was something to do. And then I made it and I was like, oh, that was really fun. It got like 40 views. In the first 2 weeks, my Hunter x Hunter video got like 40 views. And like, I didn't care. I wasn't like, okay, how can I game the algorithm for more engagement? I didn't care. I was just like, man, that fucking ruled. I really loved doing that. What else could I make a YouTube video about? Oh, I like One Punch Man. I'll make a video about One Punch Man. And then it's still like that. I still just make the videos I want to make. And I feel like I have this weird agreement with my audience where it's like, you don't need to watch my videos and I don't need to make videos that you want to watch. So it's like, when I make videos, it's for me. And if you guys enjoy it as a byproduct of that, awesome. I also don't expect you to watch the videos. And you're not under any obligation to, But, yeah. I guess the point there would be like, if you're going to pursue something, make sure it's the minutia that you love. Make sure it's like the actual physical act of doing the job and not like acknowledgement you would get from doing it or like how society would look at you for doing it. Okay, next one. My least favorite part of doing this job is everything that comes after hitting upload. That's still true. I hate uploading videos. I hate the feeling of videos being online and people talking about them, even though that is the job. And I just really love making videos. Still. And like, I wish I always feel like I should be making more videos, but like the 4 main channel videos I made this year, the Favorite Things video, the Unreality of Pro Wrestling, Void Stranger, and Fake Video Games 2, I'm really proud of all those videos. Like I think they're good videos. I think there's like some really weird and fun stuff in there, and I loved making them. I did not enjoy the process of uploading any of them or the knowledge that people were watching them, But and I think that's why in a way I am kind of suited and not suited to being a YouTuber. Ultimately, I do this because I like making videos, and like that's kind of it. Yeah, this kind of feeds into the next one. YouTube has afforded me a life I never otherwise would have been able to, and I'm extremely lucky and grateful to be doing it. However, if I wasn't so in love with the process of making, writing, editing, if I wasn't so in love with the process of making videos, writing, editing, narrating, etc., it would not be worth it. And it would not. Like, if you don't love making videos, you should not get into YouTube. I just find something that makes you happy. Like, I promise you, like, whatever little fame you will get out of it, whatever like financial incentives there might be, number one, those things are so unlikely to happen that you shouldn't waste time pursuing them if you don't love making videos. And number two, if you don't love making videos and achieve those things, I promise you will be miserable. Some of the most unhappy people I have ever met are YouTubers who don't like making videos. Okay, I have some advice here for new YouTubers. 1, create videos that you would want to watch. 2, do it only because you love making videos. I think I've already covered that. And 3, go full time when you succeed, not before. When I get someone and they come up to me and they're like, I'm actually going to give a shot at going YouTube full time. And I'm like, oh, no way. How many subscribers you at? And they'll be like, I've got 55 subscribers. I'm like, oh, don't do that. When I succeeded first at YouTube, I was working a regular 9 to 5. I'd wake up at 6 a.m. and I'd spend 2 hours making videos, and then I'd come home in the evening and put another hour or two into making videos and then work at the weekends. I did that for a year and then I quit to go full time when I was making more money from YouTube than my actual job. I really, really, really strongly recommend that that's how new YouTubers approach it, because like you do not want to start making YouTube videos with the knowledge that if you fail, you won't be able to pay your rent. Making YouTube videos is already a massive amount of pressure. Do not put yourself in that position. You will make worse videos. You will be less likely to succeed. Just have your A job and make YouTube your B job for as long as it makes sense until it can afford to become your A job. Just trust me on that one. I have met so many people like just on the cusp of making YouTube their career, but it never quite works out, and the pressure absolutely destroys them. Okay, this is just something I kind of want to acknowledge. I am not special. I am not lucky. Or no, I am not special. I am lucky. There are thousands of people making videos to the same standard as me or higher that never get to experience the same success. I try and support these people whenever I can. So look, I hope it's obvious, and I hate even saying this again because notions. I have dedicated a large part of my YouTube career to trying to boost up smaller YouTubers. And I would say universally, I think every one of them is someone I would consider on par or better at making videos than me. And, it's been incredible. Excuse me. It's been incredible seeing some of those people become like some of the most large and well-known YouTubers in the entire world. I'm not going to shout them out because that would feel weird. But yeah, that's been fucking awesome. And, yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that. Like, sometimes I see people, like, online say, like, I don't know, like, oh, iPatch Wolves thinks they're so smart or something like that. Or, like, like, the videos, and, like, this isn't a lot of people, but it does happen, where people are like, oh, these videos are so pretentious and they think they're so great. I don't think my videos are great. I think I'm trying my best, and I am trying my best. But by the time I'm done a video, no one is more sick of them than me. No one sees all the things they could have done better than me. It just gets to a point where I'm like, I have to be finished this video now, So yeah, look, luck is such a huge part of what happened to me. And like, yeah, a lot of hard work followed that luck, but I did get those initial breaks in the first place. And it just feels really important to acknowledge that. Okay, 2 more to go. The fact that I'm still making videos and that people still watch them in the numbers they do is nothing less than a minor miracle. I will never be able to convey my gratitude to the people who still click on my videos. I don't think that one requires any elaboration. And I guess finally, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. And I say that because the internet and YouTube feels in a fucking crazy place right now. And, I don't know if YouTube's going to be viable for me forever. And it's weird. At the start of this year, I think I would have said, I don't know how much longer I want to do that. Don't want to do YouTube. And honestly, that has changed. I think I've developed a much healthier relationship with like content in some ways, making videos in some ways, and I'm happy making videos again. I love having regular iPatch Wolf, and honestly, like watching regular iPatch Wolf, my side channel, this channel blow up this year has been one of the coolest fucking things in the world. Like, thank you so much to everyone for clicking on videos where it's just my fucking talking head. I really appreciate that. Like, that's it's just a privilege to be able to entertain you in whatever way I do. And I really mean that, I really do. And I wish I could put it like a more eloquent way or whatever, but no, it just means a lot. But I do know that like whatever time I do have left on YouTube, I just want to enjoy it. And I hope that the end isn't soon. You know, I hope that this goes on for a while because I don't think I've ever been happier doing this. You know, I like my videos now, and I like my side videos, and I love versus wolves, and I love, you know, I love eye patch wolves. I love working on the merch, and I love making books and writing books, and you know, YouTube is what led to all that. Like creatively, I am fulfilled, and took a long time to get there. You know, I think I'm happy now. You know, like I think I am actually at a place where like I'm happy I'm doing this, and that doesn't happen without you watching my videos. And so I guess just to end this, it's been 10 years. It's been easily the most insane 10 years of my life. And I'm I'm really glad I'm still doing this and that you're still watching. So thank you. I think that's it.